At what point do we start to worry about Drake? I mean, I'm sure he'll be all right. I mean, you know, I don't think he's going anywhere. And I mean, it's a big assumption, but I really don't think he's fallen off a cliff. But his recent actions have been really interesting. It's been some really interesting damage control after all this beef that's been going on. I know I don't need to catch you up on the biggest hip hop beef in history. Every move he's made after that has been so interesting. It's like, I wonder what's going on in this man's head. Like, you can tell this shit's really getting to him. He's just trying to save face. There was the Metro Boomin dropping the BBL Drizzy beat and giving the challenge for people to submit their verses. And I don't know if it's real, but y'all saw that response where Drake was like, you made a beat about my ass. All right, that was a pretty witty response. He really did make a tape dedicated to Drake's ass. And so that's like, okay, Drake's not taking this too serious. He's taking it pretty lighthearted. I mean, this is the certified lover boy guy, like the guy that was able to lean into all the sus and zesty Drake jokes. Like, I know y'all remember, what is Anita Maxwin? Like Drake has a good sense of humor, and he knows how to lean into the jokes. He gets internet humor for sure, which is why it's like, if this really is getting to him, it's like he's gonna save face. He's not gonna show that clearly. And then it seems like Yachty, I don't know, it's like, I'm not sure if Drake put Yachty up to this, but Yachty was very quick to defend Drake so adamantly and be like, oh, everybody hated Drake this whole time, and it's been against Drake from the start. And like, it really kind of sounds like Drake fed him a couple of things to say, but then again, I could also see that is genuinely how Yachty feels about the situation. I can respect that.
Like dissing Drake? I think Drake's dealt with that type of shit since the beginning of time. And he's always not truly been liked. It was unfortunate. I really did wish it was only Drake and Kendrick. It kind of seemed like when Kendrick came out and was like, I hate this nigga, everyone finally was like,
this is my chance.
I hate him too.
Yeah.
You know, and it was kind of just like a bunch of people, which is kind of pussy. It was a really good battle.
But then there's that, then Sexy Red hopped on the BBL Drizzy beat and had Drake on the track. And he tries to flip it so that it's like, you know, oh, he's hooking up girls, getting them BBLs. Like, he's the plug. He's the BBL plug. It's like he's trying to flip it. And I mean, arguably, that was a pretty good move. Just kind of a big middle finger to Metro Boomin. In the same way as, like, the start of this, like, humiliation ritual that's been going on for Drake. Like, trying to lean into the joke, but you can tell, like, this shit hurts. You can tell. And then just a couple days ago with the whole, Hey There Delilah flip. You know, it's like the Toronto version of Hey There Delilah. Really just an absurd track that, like, it would have just been some obscure, like, random song if it weren't for the fact that Drake was on it. And we all know the Drake effect, you know, like people like Block Boy, someone that you've never heard of before or after he got touched by Drake. That's the worst way I could have put that. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, there's so many things on the internet right now that are like clowning Drake and like making him look like this weirdo. And like, I mean, shoot, especially with everything going on in Hollywood right now and all that, like, who knows? Really, it could be so accurate. It could be so 100% accurate. So I'm not going one way or the other with it. But yeah, like, the Drake effect is a very real thing. And so the fact that he decided to hop on this Hey There Delilah feature, and I mean, his verse against the guy that made the actual song, he sounds like an angel versus this guy. And it's like, it's intentionally like bad, if that's a thing. Like, it's almost like Tizo Touchdown sort of thing. Not saying Tizo Touchdown can't sing, but he has a lot of songs where it's like clearly supposed to be like awkward and weird and absurd. And so that's very much a style, but it leans so left field, like especially the part where like the guy's like riding the beat the whole time doing the Hey There Delilah like flow, and then at a certain point he just starts to speed up really fast like this and try to like get off a beat, and it sounds really freaking weird.
If you're trying to hit it, look on the TD, RBC, Scotiabank, RBC, CIBC, PC Financial. Holla at me.
And it's funny. It's really funny. It's like comedic. But why would Drake ever align himself with something like this? So Toronto. It's so Canadian. It's like maybe he thought that it could be like a thing. I mean, the thing is, like, he has to understand how absurd it is. The fact that Drake is on something this absurd, and the fact that like he's just embarrassing himself time and time again and again. You know, dropping the Heart Part 6, trying to act like it's not a big deal, trying to act like, you know, oh, this was a good exercise, don't worry, we're cool, Kendrick, don't worry. Talking about the long game, talking about I'll see you at the end, like, all right. And then he goes and hops on BBL Drizzy, trying to play into the meme, trying to get the fans to laugh with him, not at him. And then now this, it's like, wow, he's really just hanging himself out there to dry. He deleted all the disses from his Instagram. That's when I start to wonder, like, is he releasing this absurd track so that everyone talks about that meme and we get distracted from the fact that he's like trying to hide this whole diss situation? Because, like, let's be honest, like, a large majority of Drake's fans probably are not even aware of this rap beef. They're probably not hardcore hip hop heads, and they probably just listen to Drake, you know, lightly on the regular. You know, like, I saw a stat that was talking about how, maybe if I can find the post, I'll put it up, but I saw this thing talking about how, like, everyone's comparing how Kendrick's disses are streaming so much better than Drake's. And then they go and compare, like, Kendrick's hits versus Drake's hits. And it's like One Dance, God's Plan, all these, like, you know, generational hits are, you know, still streaming like crazy. And that's that demographic I'm talking about, is these people that, you know, aren't really in on the ground floor of these hip hop beefs, like watching the jabs go left and right. And they just kind of like the music, you know. If it's something nice and poppy that gets on the radio, they'll add it to their playlist and they listen to it when they're, you know, working out or driving or at work or, you know, doing laundry. Like, and so really, for Drake to just delete these disses and try to make it go away for the majority of his fan base, it makes sense from his perspective to try to save face. And so, yeah, release a crazy track that everyone can meme about, and then slowly take away any evidence of the diss tracks. It makes sense to me. On a semi-related note, it seems like it's a little rough for the big three right now. Like, we just had, of course, Drake's like whole character is crumbling in front of all of us, and then Cole, of course, he released his apology, and that looked bad for a minute. Everyone's like, oh shoot, Cole sleeps well at night, Cole's soft, like and then it goes like, okay, well, we kind of see where Cole's coming from. He's still a little soft, but we kind of see where he's coming from. And then he releases Grippy, and everyone's now like taking the opportunity to clown on Cole and call him trash and say he's no longer a part of the big three for sure now. It's like, it's one verse, and it's not even, like, let's be honest, it's not even close to the worst thing like you've heard this year. It's not even close to the first mainstream thing you've heard this year that is that low of quality. And then now Kendrick is getting shat on about how he lied about UMG, cutting a deal with UMG about the diss tracks, how the reaction videos and the content around the diss tracks aren't going to get claimed. Apparently he lied. Listen, I don't know the details about that. My assumption would be that UMG lied, Kendrick didn't lie, and it's just like the clickbait is like, Kendrick lied to us, riot. But yeah, so it seems like the media, the general attention towards the big three is a little bit rough right now. What's going on with Cole and what's going on with Kendrick is freaking flowers and daisies compared to everything that Drake is having to deal with at the moment. And potentially rightfully so. Don't get me wrong. Don't make me sound like I'm a Drake defender. There might be an argument to separate the art from the artist, but like that's a whole nother video that's. But yeah, let me know what y'all think about all this, really. I'm just kind of deciphering it. Like, it's just crazy. It's crazy what's going on. And maybe I'm getting a little conspiratory with the whole Drake trying to hide the diss tracks thing, but maybe not. Maybe I'm onto something. Let me know what you think down below. I love y'all. I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.
You know, Mork, I think you're beginning to grow.
Well, sir, I don't know how much value I have in this universe. But I do know that I made a few people happier than they would have been without me. And as long as I know that, I'm as rich as I ever need to be. So I'll catch you on the rebound, your magnitude. Until next week, Nanu, Nanu.